Today's market is incredibly competitive. Everyone has a treadmills, everyone has a welcome desk. One thing that can set us apart is to make every single person feel special. Join us today to discover secrets of outstanding member experiences. Welcome to Top Rated Gym, the podcast that helps ambitious gym owners build profitable and sustainable fitness businesses. I'm your host, Andre Cvijovic, and with every episode, we deliver actionable insights, expert advice, and success stories to help you grow your membership, streamline your operations, and achieve financial stability, even if you struggle with marketing challenges or operational overwhelm or financial limitations in the past. Today, we have Chris and Marissa, a fitness industry veterans with over 20 years of experience in owning and operating award-winning health clubs. As the founders of Empower Group, Chris and Marissa specialize in helping businesses and entrepreneurs maximize their potential within a health club sector. Their hands-on experience as successful owners of Stevenson Fitness, a boutique health club in Southern California, has equipped them with exceptional insights in member experiences, staffing, operation, leadership. They're dedicated to sharing their expertise through speaking engagements, workshop, and strategic advising, making them a valuable resource for everyone looking to thrive in the competitive fitness landscape. Join us as we delve into their journey to uncover the secrets of creating an exceptional member experience that set facilities apart from competition. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us.
Guys, I love the topic of this episode. This is what separates human from AI. This separates us from technology, from automation. Every time you go anywhere on the event, you go on vacation, you remember experiences connected with the people. People make our life joyful or miserable. It's a big difference. I want to really understand from your perspective, why did you choose this topic? Because I know based on your book and what you're contributing in the world, you can have 10 of these podcasts, guys. So why is this important? Why membership experience in your mind is important?
So first of all, it's fun, right? There's so many aspects of our industry and there's a lot of challenges, but it's fun. It's about making people happy and empowering your staff to make people happy. And to your point, create these memories, things that people never forget. One of the mantras that Marissa and I always use is we want people to leave a facility going, I can't believe my gym did that, in a good way, because people always leave gyms going, I can't believe they did that, right? With mistakes or issues or problems, or it's dirty, or the staff wasn't friendly. So we always talk about, you want people to go, man, I can't believe my gym did that. And they're blown away by that. But it really is a fun topic. And to your point, it is what differentiates us from technology. While AI and technology is important and it just helps take our industry to the next level, when you combine that with the appropriate human connection, interaction, and elite levels of service, that's when you can become an unstoppable organization. And we both truly believe that it can be the one true differentiator. You said this in your intro, but every facility has treadmills and trainers and classes, and some are better than others or newer than others. But the one thing that people can't copy, because they can copy all of that, is the experience you create for people. So we really do believe it's the one true differentiator in fitness. And when you put your time and energy into focusing and taking a real strategic approach to creating a great member experience, you can really distance yourself from the competition.
One other thing that I would add about this is member experience does not require you to have a lot of resources as far as finances. It just requires attention.
Yes.
So even thinking whether you're a small operator just getting started or a large organization, we just need to be strategic about how we bring our staff on, how we train them with that initial investment of time, and how we get strategic about it. But you do not need to have deep pockets in order to implement some very simple and tangible things that will make a huge difference with your customer base.
That's a great point.
It doesn't cost us to be polite.
Right.
It doesn't cost us to add, thank you, appreciate you, good morning, good afternoon, goodbye. It doesn't cost us to implement these in a daily basis. If it doesn't cost us and it brings a value, why don't we use it? That's the big question. Why not everybody use it? We all know it's cool. We know how we feel when we experience 5-star service. sometimes we don't know how to pinpoint and how to implement that. But let's talk about strategy here. You guys mentioned the word strategy here. What is your way of approaching strategy for this?
Well, strategy begins with what we said earlier, the intentionality. So from the very beginning, when you're looking for people to add to your team, to bring them on, you want to make sure that when you're hiring, you tell people one of the very first things that your job responsibilities includes is providing an amazing member experience. Typically, people say your job is going to be to clean the facility, to give great classes, to train people. But what it should be is the number one responsibility for every single person on the staff is to provide a great experience. So we're training people from the very beginning, and then we show them exactly what that looks like. So how do we answer the phone? There's a difference between being polite and being over the top, enthusiastic, energetic. So we might say, "Welcome to Stevenson Fitness. Thank you for calling." That's polite. But if we train people to smile, to have energy and say, "It's a great day at Stevenson Fitness. My name is Marissa. How can I help you?" That provides a different level of experience for that person who's on the other end of the line.
Yeah. And to add to that, to Marissa's point, if you don't have the right people on your team, then you're not going to be able to provide this experience, right? And then being intentional about it. Then you take all of that and you look at the entire customer journey from the minute somebody's exposed to your brand till hopefully they become a raving fan and everything that happens in between. And you look at all those touch points, all those customer touch points, and you look, how can we make this a better experience? Now, we're not ignoring technology, right? We want to make sure that people can do things from their phone in one click, and all of those things have to be there too to create a great experience. We can't forget about that. But then we look at what is the human interaction at all the touch points and how can we make it as engaging and exciting and memorable as possible.
So 3 words you just said, and it changed everybody's emotion. Words we choose are such a key element there. And I want to add to that. See, guys, this starts from the day one. That means somebody's thinking now, sure, I'm behind. My God, I already have people who are not excited. They're awesome trainers. They're very good in what they're doing. However, they're not that pumped up, excited. What do I do then? What would you recommend?
Oh, first of all, you have to decide when somebody's falling short. So let's say we're asking a personal trainer, we're saying, listen, we need you to create this great experience, and we've onboarded them and we've given them consistent training on all the different best practices of a great experience, and they're just not doing it. Andre, there are 3 reasons somebody is not meeting your expectations. And this is very powerful. 1, they don't care. 2, they disagree. Or 3, they really don't know how. So as leaders, when somebody's falling short and delivering a great experience and not meeting the expectations, you simply sit them down and have that conversation in a very positive and polite way. I can only think of one of these 3 reasons. And generally, if they don't care, that was the bad hire, right? They somehow made it through and they got hired, but they really didn't fit the culture. And in that particular case, generally, they probably shouldn't be a part of the team because they're never going to meet those expectations. Occasionally, if somebody is doing everything and then drops off, there may have been an incident that's worth addressing, saying, did something happen? Because you're really great at this and you stopped. And sometimes you can resolve that. But most of the time, it's a bad hire who, even if they're a great trainer, just is not part of the culture. So they shouldn't be a part of the team. Then there's the don't know how. And that's just on us. We got to train you more. Let's put you through re-onboarding, or let's do consistent role play to make sure you get those skills dialed in. Somebody wants to do it, just doesn't have the skills, right? And then there's the disagree. And this is great because you can have a conversation with your team and say, we're asking these things. Why is it you're not delivering it? Do you see things differently? And they might say, yeah, because of A, B, and C. And in that particular case, sometimes maybe there's a compromise. Maybe because as leaders, we're not in the trenches where our expectations are a little off and we can modify them. Or it gives us a chance to say, I hear you and I understand what you're saying, but here's why we have to do it this way. So that's how we always like to coach people who are falling short on delivering a great experience, or in any areas in their duties and job description and roles, is we boil it down to those 3 things, figure out which one it is, and then address those appropriately.
I love it. 3 reasons, guys. They don't care, let them go. Simple as that. It's sometimes you got to cut the loose. We call it liberate them. Because if they don't like it, they don't like you, they hate the gym, they have the industry they're in, you will do them a favor because they will never do anything to move on.
Yes.
Free them up, liberate them.
Yes.
Second, if they disagree or if they start and stop, damn, we have a conversation. If somebody was doing it, it means they show they care, they show they know how to do it. Something happened in their life that's overwhelming them, that's cloudness in their mind that has to pull them out. They understand that this is an act. We gotta come and put our best face forward, no matter what's happening. Leave the crap at the door when you get into the gym. People come into your gym so they can get empowered, and they depend on you. You are their source of empowerment. And I like the last one if they don't know how. See, I had a challenge with that one because naturally I was always excited about conversation. My role was always pumped up. It might be a reason because 10 years ago I found Tony Robbins tapes and I was obsessed with them. Listening 80 hours of his content, and his content is all about enrichment of the juicy words. The words you use really get people moving on. And I call them power words. You use engagement, exciting, memorable. I said, okay, if somebody's writing an email, take a look at that email or take a look at that script and just spice it up. Like you're making that steaks and then you put the spices on it and it tastes much better. It brings up the plate and you want more of it. And I literally, through the time, created something called power words. And I literally looking at it now. It says passion, results, impact, outstanding, extraordinary, great, amazing, powerful, revolutionize, improve and lasting results, maximize, accelerate, opportunity, intensify, passion. So every one of these words is creating some kind of emotion. You can do it in opposite way and create a fear and challenges. Both has a place. Either you want to move somebody to sign up and says you focus on the pain to push them out of the pain, you intensify the pain so they can change, or use excitement to amplify them to stick to it. But I think the words we choose are tremendously impactful. And by the way, I have 200 of them, believe it or not. There's like jaw-dropping, awe-inspiring, stunning, breathtaking, spectacular, jackpot, sky. Like you literally take the email and infuse a couple of these spicy words in it, and it sounds different.
I love it.
I told my team when they asked for the phone call, one simple gesture that can change how people perceive you over the phone because they don't see your body language. Before you answer it, take a big breath, because the moment you start talking like, hello, Andre speaking, how can I help you? It sounds much more different than exhale. Hello, Andre speaking, how can I help you? There's no ump, there's no power, there's no flow of the hair. And it's the same script, same emotion, same me. It's just then you have a full, then the pressure from the lungs is pushing the air out. You sound more energized just because it's forcing stronger energy through your voice cords.
Great tip.
It's such a simple tip. Ring, ring, ring. Welcome to Referrizer, special company that treats you as amazing as you are. How can we make your day shinier and more? American Express does this all the time. Simple tip, right? That's why people have to be standing, not sitting.
Yes.
Because the flow of energy and juices and the blood, it changes. Emotions connect with emotions. Man, and I love what you guys are doing. Hey, if it doesn't work, somebody is willing to do this. Have a conversation, be friend to them, and then teach them. Everything is trainable. And I hope you guys who are listening this can already sense importance of this. And by the way, how much did this cost? Nothing.
Exactly.
Damn nothing. Elon Musk surprised me a couple of days. I was watching his video and he said, I don't care about background education and school and anything you invest in yourself. We hire people with special abilities. If you can demonstrate that you have done something special and you have ability to think differently, it's the character of the person that gets the game, not school. And by the way, there's no school for being polite and being excited. Oh, then this is good. On a tactical level, when it goes down to SOPs, improvement, and especially you have a brand that does this job, but they do it in one location good, in another location bad, and there's no consistency. What's the process of implementing this and rolling it out?
As we mentioned earlier, it definitely goes back to hiring, right? So we need to make sure that all our hiring SOPs are exactly the same. We're looking for the same sort of energy level. We're looking for people who want to join our team and want to have that level of enthusiasm. So we say, hey, we're looking for personal trainers, but we're also looking for people who are interested in delivering an amazing experience to all of our members. So from the get-go, we do that. And then we have our very standardized SOPs where we're onboarding everyone. We're training them how to answer the phone. Our group exercise instructors know that when they're teaching a class, one of their jobs is to engage with every single person in the room, not just their favorites in the front row, but the people in the back corner and what that looks like. So we're very intentional about how we deliver that experience. And then when you have multiple locations, you need to make sure that your managers know how to have that accountability in place. So it might be checking in on that group exercise class and seeing, is the instructor interacting with everyone? Or calling the front desk and saying, just, are you answering the way you're supposed to do? So we've done that with clients where we'll call all the locations and notice that the verbiage might be the same, but that level of enthusiasm is different. So we have to stay on top of that and make sure that we're modeling that. So we're on location at all our different places and modeling that. Say, I'm going to answer the phone. Let me do it. And you're going to give them that big energy greeting. You're going to be in class and doing that, interacting. So you're modeling that. And then you go back to those things that Chris talked about with those staff members that are choosing not to do those things. We always give them the opportunity, we retrain, and then that way we have that consistency across the board. But it's very clear. This is how you teach a class. This is after class. You make sure you say goodbye to everyone. You stand at the door. You thank them for coming. And you're making sure that these things happen at every single one of locations. And if you're not doing that now, you mentioned earlier, how do I get started? The beginning of 2025 is a great way to start implementing things like that. Say, we're starting something new, team. Our theme this year is over the top service, or good to great, or exceptional. Using one of your power words, you're going to tell your whole team, this is our new motto for the year, and we're going to implement that across every single department. And I'm excited about what we're going to be doing with what our energy and our enthusiasm will provide to our members.
And the back end of that too is then it's inspect what you expect. So what we talked about was we want to build it and this is how we create all of this. But then you want to make sure that you're making it part of your annual evaluations, your quarterly evaluations. You're evaluating the level of experience they're creating and you're making it very tangible, because let's face it, customer experience can be a little intangible sometimes. I think it's good.
That's my question. Like, how do you compare the numbers? So you can later on see results if you're rated well or not, or member retention, but that's like a lagging indicator.
Right. Yeah, you've got to do that, inspect what you expect. So make it part of that. And to your point, to make it tangible, get creative on that. So one thing that we used a lot was Net Promoter Score. So when you get a survey, it'll say from a scale of 0 to 10, how likely are you to refer somebody to this business? And the lowest score is negative 100. The highest score is 100. If somebody gives you a 9 or 10, that means they're promoters. They are in love with you. They refer you to people. They're raving fans. 7 and 8s, they like you, but they're not in love with you. So they're happy enough. But there, somebody opens up down the street, they'll check them out. And then the 0 to 6 is like, why are you here? They are the people that would rather be at the dentist getting a quadruple root canal than be at your facility. And they're always complaining. But what actually tends to happen is a lot of operators will focus on the 0 to 6 when they should be focusing on the 7 and 8s.
Yes.
You can just push those up to 9 and 10s. But like Net Promoter Score is one way to make it tangible. Share that with your staff. We're currently at a Net Promoter Score of 60. We want to get to 65. So that's a very tangible KPI. You can do pulse surveys. So as a leader,
to tell the audience what that means. Google the best Net Promoter Score companies in the world. They rarely exceed 70. I don't think there's any company that does 80 or 90. You guys are at the peak. And the NPS goes from minus 100 to plus 100. So 60 is already in the top of the scale.
Yes.
It takes very little effort to destroy that number and a lot of effort to pick it up.
Good point.
Yeah, but that's the key. And then like pulse surveys, just as a leader, be on the floor, grab people here. How was your experience today? Do you have a good interaction with that? You know, just ask those questions. You can do, for example, one of our best practices is we say names 100% of the time. When you use somebody's names, it personalizes an experience. It makes people feel important. It breaks the ice. It makes people feel comfortable. So at the end of a day, there's no reason you can't survey everybody that came in that day and just say, was your name used when you checked in? And then you report that to your staff the next day and you say, hey, we had, 400 visitors today, but only 200 had their names used. Then you got to reinforce that skill. So get creative, find ways to make it tangible. And then in addition to evaluating and setting KPIs and making it tangible, As a leader, make sure that you express your gratitude and appreciation based on customer experience. Andre, you're working our welcome desk and you just engage with a member. You had them laughing. You were using your power words. You use their name. I see that as a leader and I come over and be like, wow, you just made that person's day because you took the time to build a real relationship with them. So make it part of your recognition, gratitude, and your evaluations, because that way, everything that Marissa spoke of, now we make it tangible and we evaluate it on it and we reward upon it.
I love it. I got to summarize this. So in my notes, there's 5 things here. Set expectations in hiring. So don't bring crappy people.
Yep.
Bring excited people to start with. Everybody can be excited for 5 minutes or 30 minutes or an hour in the interview. Test them out. Drop them a ball. Give them a objection. Give them a negative complaint. Like, how do you handle this? Then you'll see the facial expression change subconsciously and they become a different person. Because it's easy to be good in a group environment. When it's tough, that's when the smile has to be solid. Then document the whole process, SOP. Train them based on that, role play with them, and then test. Inspect what you expect. Measure it by NPS. And what I like about this is you should use this as a retention tool more than a sales tool, in my opinion. I don't know about you guys. Because if you overpromise, you have a hard time delivering. But if you underpromise and overdeliver, that's where you create aha moment. That's where you says, oh my God, you should not say that, oh, we are the best, you will amaze you on every step. And then you're coming, was like, where's my amazement? I love cruises. And me and my wife take 3 cruises a year for the last 10 years. And we always take standard cruises, like Royal Caribbean or whatever. And this time we went on Virgin from Richard Branson. And I had expectations. I'm an experienced cruiser. I know what to expect. I expect the layout. They all have the similar layout, same calendar, same compass, same schedule. Boom. Nothing. Totally different. Resetted my expectations. Like, where's the big amphitheater? Where are they going to show what's going to happen? There's no such a thing. And I immediately dropped my expectations. Boom, there's going to be a different cruise. I don't know what I'm about to expect. And then things start showing up. Things that I don't think every one of my referrals will have experienced the same way. I think going back will not going to experience the same way. They individualize experiences on such a highest level, and they delivered in such a way that I'm blown away. I bought 3 another cruises for that. Simple example, we're taking a tea in a testing area where they do serve the cookies and stuff, and the person comes up, says, guys, would you like to have close-up magic trick? And he does it for us. And we were like blown away. And then he said, if you want to see more of this, meet me tomorrow at 7:00 at the Smoke Lounge. Go there. 5 people waiting. What are you waiting? Nobody tells anything. He took us underground on the bottom of the ship where the crew is. He took us to the front of the ship where there's a closed door. He took our cell phone, buried them in a box, closed us, locked the room, and we are in the freaking storage on the bottom of the ship. And there's like barrels there. And you can see that this is not designed for freaking guests. And then he showed up and did the magic I will never forget.
Wow.
Allah. He did such a magic that the paper I wrote on it showed up in a box over there after an hour, and I opened it and I saw my handwriting. This is incredible.
No way.
No freaking way. And this is just one of many. Me and my wife, as you come in, you go to grab a bite. There's a bar outside and we are ordering drinks. And the girl approaches us, says, hey, would you like a love song with guitar? And my wife is shy and she says, no, I'm good. So she approached another girl and she says, yes. The girl starts singing on guitar and it was like Angel's voice. My skin get goosebumps.
Wow.
And I was like, whoa, everybody turn. And as she's singing, you are like in a YouTube video. Person comes up and join her. Another person comes up, join her. There's the 3 other staff start dancing. The lights dims out. They turn into such a romantic scene out of the blue.
Wow.
We were all like, what is going on? Like in the magic at the highest level. And then song is done. She stopped singing and everybody disappeared like a dust. They went to their own work. I was like, this, I don't know. And I told my sister, when you go there 6 p.m. It's about to happen. Maybe she's going to show up. She didn't.
See, how can we
experience I cannot repeat and nobody can.
How can we do those experiences in a club setting? That's a really cool question for me. Like, how do we provide these amazing experiences? It could be that you have someone on your staff that knows how to sing and one day brings a guitar into the gym. I'm just
It's
thinking like
incredible.
outside the box, but it's something like you're probably not going to go back to Royal Caribbean now. Virgin has set a different standard now. So what if
And this is not me promoting Virgin. It's just
yeah,
I was
I know.
absolutely. And my sister went. She says, Andre, none of those exist. I don't know if you're lying, but I had my own experiences, and she starts sharing hers. Honestly, it was totally different, and that's when you under promise and over deliver. It's unexpected surprise, like a joke you didn't know it's coming.
Mhm.
I remember me being a student and I was recruited in multi-level marketing. One of the aha experiences. I joined as a total stranger. I knew nobody. It's like you coming into the club, right? Fitness club. And then person approached me and asked me about my family. Everybody can talk about family, so I talk about. And then second person is approaching, and the person who asked me about family is telling him about me, about my family, to the details. I was like, oh my God, this person listens. I was like, oh, that's impressive. What do you do for work? And I tell him about work. And then as I'm done, third person comes up. This person is telling him about my family and my work to this person. That's funny. I don't care about work. What do you do for fun? And I figured out it's a formula because I joined the program. It's called FORM, family, occupation, recreation, and then a message. And then person transferred the message to the speaker so he can customize the speech towards me because they were recruiting me. I was blown away. So it's a formula for that experience. All what we need to think about how we can do this. I'm not saying set a bar such a low, but taking it to the level that the little things change. We change it, for example, in my company, Referrizer, where we develop the software. Software can be buggy. The bug shows up, you cannot do something you want to do. And immediately people feel like, this is not experience I was paying for. We changed it. Says, oh my God, congratulations. So they're reporting something negative. I'm saying congratulations. Choose the words. You earn yourself a free lunch. What do you mean? Every time somebody helps us find something that doesn't work, we give them free lunch. Immediately, the face shows up. It's like, oh, I'm going to be eating free for a month. And it was funny thing, but every time we, first of all, get collaboration to find out things faster, and every bad experience become good one. People never canceled just because of the little things that happens in the system. You guys who are listening to this, think, sit down and says, how do we emphasize customer experience every time, every interaction with every coach or member? This is different. The world of where I can have example is Tony Robbins' seminar. If you ever went to his UPW seminar, he's doing it for 40 years. I was there 7 times. You walk out, they send a form. How can we make it even better? And every time is different, slightly different. Waiting in line is not waiting more than 5 minutes. And then was like 2 minutes. And then was like instantaneous because he put 300 of these tablets that everybody can come in and check in.
Wow.
My first was like 4 hours waiting in line.
Wow.
Changing little things. Constant, I think the key word is constant and never-ending improvement.
Sure.
Always amplify. And that's what creates aha. That's what creates people coming back to do the same thing over and over. Because it becomes a place of, I'm confident that my experience will be good. Platinum card on American Express. You call them, they take care of you.
Yep.
No matter what. So call it platinum, call it, I don't know how. So I love this conversation, guys. I'm now trying to put myself in the shoes of these gym owners. Most of them will say, we have great experience. And most of them don't. How can somebody figure out I am not as good as I think I am? Or maybe I am when I'm there, but the moment I'm out, behavior changes. Like, how can somebody figure out I need to do this, I need to change this? Self-testing, doing mystery shopping, what would you guys recommend?
We do have a checklist that we can share with your audience that gives very specific things to look for when evaluating. It could be like a secret shopper thing, but it could be just looking at these 10 points that we elaborate on and say, am I doing this in my club? And that's something that we can share with your listeners. And it makes it very tangible for a way to evaluate their level of customer experience in that member journey.
And one thing we believe in is what we call real versus feel. And feel is, I feel like this is a great idea. I feel like our service is great. Real is looking at the data and the analytics and taking a survey like our customer service audit and figuring out what's really happening. And oftentimes, the difference between what we feel and what's real is astonishing. The other thing to remember, if you're a facility owner or operator, is you don't get to decide what a great experience is. Your customer does.
Yeah, I love
Tell
that.
you whether or not they had a great experience or not. So to your point, consistently survey, whether it's a net promoter score, whether it's a pulse survey, whether it's targeted surveys about different aspects of your organization. But like the Tony Robbins thing you said, he'll survey you after the event, right? Because they could say, I felt like it was great. And then you fill out the survey and say, I waited too long. The room was hard to hear. Those sort of things. With feedback, you want to consistently reach out to your members in different ways for feedback. Again, whether it's net promoter, targeted surveys, pulse surveys on the floor, creating member advisory boards where you bring people together and you do little focus groups. But listen to your members and they'll tell you if you're good or not. So they'll give you the real no matter what you feel. And that's pretty powerful. The one thing about feedback, just like we talked about the 3 steps with leadership, right? The 3 reasons people fall short. With feedback, we have actually had operators that we've worked with that are like, I don't want to survey my members because then I'll have to do stuff, which is like the shortest sighted approach ever, but it's true. People fear feedback. 3 things with feedback. Either 1, you do it. 2, you do some sort of compromise with that feedback. I hear what you're asking for, and logistically, we can't totally do it, but you know what? Here's a couple ways we can make this process a little better. And then 3 is if you just can't, because things have to be a certain way, again, now I've got member engagement. I can talk to my member and say, love your feedback. And I totally understand where that would make a better experience. Here are the reasons we just can't do it that way. And that's going to allow you. So even if you tell someone no, you're at least building a better bond with them and they know they were heard, listened to, and now they have a good understanding of why it has to be a certain way. So,
And then Andre, just like you shared with your customers, you want to make sure that you're thanking them.
yes.
Yes.
Feedback. Even when it's negative, that's what we admire most, just like what you said, because how would I know if treadmill number 9 isn't working if you're not telling me about it? Or how would I know?
You're not checking every equipment every day, every time.
Exactly. Or even like your Tony Robbins example, if we translate that into, let's say you have a body pump class and people are waiting forever to go get in line to get all your equipment. Maybe you don't know about that experience unless someone tells you. So how can you figure out a different way to place that equipment so people aren't waiting in line? So our customers truly are helping us improve with that feedback, and we want to make sure we thank them. I don't know if we give free lunch to everybody who complained at the gym, but certainly you want to thank them. And when it's something major, surprise them with that free lunch because they would be blown over and
Some words of appreciation goes far.
Yeah.
So checklist, guys, this is incredible. On behalf of the community, everybody wants to go check the checklist. It's going to be part of that. We'll announce it at the end of the show. But execute that, measure it, survey people. You have no clue how well you are unless you hear it from others. And then implement. And once you implement, that's not it. It's not end game. It's starting the game. You got to keep improving it. Keep measuring, keep changing, keep improving. Because if you don't, competition is catching up. They will do a better job than you. Because they are listening to the same episode as you do now.
Yeah.
100%.
I love this thing. What's your experience of gyms? Because you guys are working, you're speakers, you're book authors, you're coaches, and you're helping people implement these into their businesses. What do they see as a result? And how long it takes to see some kind of tangible results once you fully embrace excitement in the culture of member experiences?
So I think when you look at any sort of customer data, Gallup does a lot of stuff on customers and employee engagement, but you look, McKinsey does a lot of stuff on behaviors. When you look at the data behind it, and again, this is the real versus feel, one data point that you'll see is customers are willing to spend 70% more if they feel like something is a superior experience, right? So there's all sorts of data like that. I think we saw one data point that was only 1 in 25 people, or churn is not the number one reason people quit. It's a bad experience. And only 1 in 25 people or 26 people will tell you, right? So when you start to see that data, that reinforces just how important and impactful this is. So we always believe in sharing that sort of data with your teams and your staff in order to make them understand, wow, this is impactful, because it takes a little extra. Oh, really? I have to stand, or really I have to smile, or is using a name that important? Well, when you start to show them all the data, the real behind it, they start to just understand how just important that is. And when you combine that with reminding your staff of the purpose behind what they do. So for an example, If you greet somebody with a smile and great energy and power words, and you use their name and you genuinely take an interest and the world has stopped and you're focused on that person, you can make or break their health. Because if that's a person coming in for the first time and that's their first impression, they're more likely to sign up. They're more likely to change their life as opposed to if
Yes.
it's just a lame, you sit and you're like, hey, welcome, anything you need. Then somebody is likely to say, no, I was just checking it out. And they never come back and they never change their health. So between giving your
Mm,
staff the reinforcement of this stuff matters and the data shows that this is impactful.
yes.
And then, by the way, it's the right thing to do because you can have a positive impact on people's lives. Maybe you're the best part of their day. Maybe they hate their job and they come to the gym looking for some sort of happiness, not just exercise, but like happiness. And you're able to give that to them.
And
And I,
your
yeah.
question was when they see the results, right?
Mhm.
So some of the results, like Chris mentioned, might be down the line when we're looking at data from the Net Promoter Score or any other survey, but some of those things have an immediate impact. When you answer the phone like that,
Yes.
your members are going to have an immediate reaction. When you greet them, when they're coming in, like they're scared, their cholesterol level is really low. When you train your staff to welcome them in, to have big smiles, those results are immediate. And what we
Yes.
do is we build upon that energy. That member all of a sudden is energized, then your staff gets
Mm,
energized. So some of those results will happen immediately in a very visceral way. And then some of that data, those lagging indicators, as you named them, will come with time. But
yeah.
that energy, that enthusiasm, that's right away.
And employee retention will change. You'll
Yeah.
keep employees who enjoy doing these things. Because even if I feel like a crap and I'm going to the work and I know I got to deliver, I'll do this because of them. I'll
Hmm.
change my energy. I'll fake it until I make it. It takes me 3 fake smiles to do it until I get reflection and it makes me feel good. After
Mm.
that, it's authentic.
Yep.
They showed it. They proved it. Do 20 minutes of fake smile on the face and depression disappears.
Yeah.
Theology is connected with emotions. There's no bad feeling if you put yourself a soldier called that hero posture. You put yourself hip and look up and with deep breath and the problem disappears. They don't exist up there. They exist down there. When we
Mm.
put the head down and we think about bad things, there's no bad things up. Think about bad things. I can't. Looking up. That's the thing. And I want to mention one thing. When you were talking about experience and measuring, I'm thinking about the richest people in the world focused on experience. Up to recently, Louis Vuitton CEO was the freaking richest guy in the world,
Mm.
right? Because they all focus about experience of buying purses and quality and talk and share. It's the you people says, oh, I would be able to do that if I raise the prices, if I have more money to hire better people. No, 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 no. Don't raise prices, raise standards.
Hmm.
Mm.
Raise your internal expectations first. And the only simple thing, I literally have this pen because of one message that says on it. It's from the conference from Tony Robbins I got. It says, how do you raise standards? How do you get yourself to the next level? It's one sentence that changed my life. Turn shoulds into musts.
Hmm.
Mm.
Simple as that.
Yep.
Everybody who says, I should work out, they don't. For
Right.
somebody, it's a must. Oh, I should eat less. It's not a must. When
Mm.
somebody's saying, hey, will you like a gluten? Get that out of me. Right? There's people who are vegetarian who is not going to shoot vegetarian. They are vegetarian. It's a must for them.
Yep.
And you can see in the language pattern, should or must. It's a different world.
Yep.
Oh, I should smile when I answer the phone call. That means you're not doing it all the time. If it's a
Hmm.
Mm.
must, there's no question.
Yep.
Just ask yourself, what things are you shooting all over yourself for a
Mm.
while? What things are we saying we should? Just to rewrite it says must, and life is different.
That's your power of words.
Yeah.
That's the power of words. There's no should using it. It's either you are or not. There's nothing in between.
Mm.
Hmm.
Either you're leading or you're suffering. World of flat line doesn't exist. Either you're growing or you're dying. Doing same thing over and over, thinking you'll get same results is not how it works. We all
Hmm.
gotta keep investing. And this is the guy's cheapest investment you can ever think.
Hmm.
It's a really cheapest investment. It can change the
Absolutely.
game.
Yep.
Whoa, I loved it. Oh my God, time is flying. I want to ask you, if somebody wants to learn more about this, I want to ask you guys, you're so knowledgeable about this topic. Where would you direct somebody to go? Give me some conferences, podcasts, books, some resource that somebody can explore more about customer experience. What would be your recommendation somebody starts on this journey?
One book that we loved that we had every single member of our staff read. So that was something that we gave them when we started. So everyone read
The Fred Factor.
The Fred Factor by
A really great author.
Fred Factor. I'm going to look for it.
Yes, Fred Factor. And it's
how passionate in your work. Oh, that's Mark Sanborn.
Yes, Mark Sanborn.
Mark Sanborn. Yeah. So every member of our staff read that. They were gifted the book, and it was such an easy read that our 16-year-olds and our 66-year-olds read it. Big font, super easy, but it's the fable of, not actually even a fable, but a story of a post office delivery worker that goes above and beyond and makes a real difference in someone's life. And so we talk about that being a Fred factor that we use at our gym. So how can you Fred someone today? What are you going to do?
And another great book is called Unreasonable Hospitality by Will Guidara. And he talks about his restaurant journey of opening restaurants and trying to become a 5-star Michelin restaurant and all of that. And what he figured out in the journey was, while food is important, and let's not forget, you have to have good classes and a clean facility and a good treadmill, right? All those things have to be there, right? So he's like, the good food has to be there, but people are going to remember how they were treated more. And he was all about what you said earlier with the Virgin Cruises, doing these things that were above and beyond. And one of the little spoilers from the book is he overheard a table of 4 foodies at this restaurant talking about they had all dinners at all these great restaurants in New York, but the only thing they didn't get was a hot dog from a cart. So he heard that and he ran outside down the street, spent $2 to get a hot dog. He said he ran back to the kitchen. He said the hardest part was convincing his chef to cut it and serve it. So he cuts up what they call in New York a dirty water dog into 4 pieces and puts like a swish of relish, a swish of ketchup and all this. And he comes out to the table and he says, I couldn't help but overhear that you were missing one part of your dining experience on this trip to New York. And I would hate for you to leave without having experienced it. So here you go, an authentic New York hot dog. And these people lost their mind when they
it's not expensive. It's
$2. Yeah,
they'll remember it and talk about it forever.
Yeah, so fantastic. Those are 2 fantastic books that are easy and fun reads. And I like for fitness operators that Will Guidara's book and Fred are both outside of fitness. So they're bringing in other industry that you can then apply to fitness. So I think those are 2 really good books.
And you can watch TED Talk. Yeah. It's a quick little TED Talk. We would show it to every single person on our staff as part of onboarding and expectation. Podcasts are always a great way to do that.
We also use that video when we do workshops and trainings. We go
What's the TED Talk name?
If you look up Unreasonable Hospitality.
It's for Unreasonable Hospitality.
Yeah.
Arizona. Okay, good.
Yeah. And I think it might be 9 minutes long.
Yeah, it's a short,
But it's totally
And these are the research I'm grateful for. And I'll add a couple more guys. Steve Wynn, research about him. He created Wynn Hotels, absolutely amazing experience. There's Steve Wynn Hotel, Mirage, and all that. He created Las Vegas. There's 2 empty spots, and there's others. People will go beyond what's possible. They will drive for 6 hours to go get your medicine if you forget them. They start the meetings catch them when they're doing something good. The first start of the day is about sharing what everybody did to enlighten everybody's experience. So they start by pitching in what people did to amplify. It's like daily routine, not like you do this and then why didn't you do this and what's the update on the project. No, let's share the happiness. Tony Shea, Zappos.
Yes.
Incredible story.
We're big fans.
Have 8 hours conversation on the phone. They says you will do everything. If you want out their shoes, but you have doctor's dentist appointment, they'll patch you up with the doctor. They'll set you up appointment. They'll call your husband. They'll do everything to get there. It doesn't cost much time and money just to spend a little bit more energy of doing something good. AI will never replace that, guys. Oh my God. We need more people like yourself, guys, in this world, especially in this community. And I want to wrap up with one question. Now people are thinking like, holy smoke, how do I get this checklist? Where do I get connected with these guys? People are listening now, people will listen a year from now. And I want to ask you, how can people get engaged with you? How they can connect? How they can learn about what you guys do?
For sure, the website is pretty easy. So you can go to TEG, the Empower Group, tegfirm.com, and that will give you all the information about what we do, who we do that for. And so that's a great way. We're also on LinkedIn, the Empower Group, Instagram, the Empower Group, pretty straight across the board.
Yeah, those are the best ways. And on our website, we do have an events page. So depending on where you're located, we're literally present at events all over the country. So you can see where we'll be presenting and check that out. And then we did put together that customer service checklist we talked about. So if you go to our website, tegfirm.com/CX audit, you can download that. And it's a great checklist with some information on customer service that literally you can take it, walk in your facility, and within 10 minutes, figure out whether or not you are checking the boxes and where you need to improve. So just a great tool that we put together because just like you, we understand how important experience is and we want to help everybody we can create an incredible one.
And it's very hard to summarize this in a one sentence, this episode. And if you're struggling with employees, with retention of employees, with retention of the people, with your emotional overwhelm of running a business, if you're tired of the wrong clients or wrong things in a business, might not be the business, might not be the economy, might not be anything that's related to your assessment, might be just the culture, might be just one thing that's missing. And that's part of excitement. With this episode, I want you guys who are listening to share it, to click it, to employ it, to share it to your employees. It says, okay, let's make a brainstorm. Let's download this checklist. Let's figure out how to do this. Maximize everything you can. And then I'm going to also go to these events as well. Because never enough improvements. If you think you're doing good, you can make it great. If you're doing great, you can make it outstanding.
Yep.
Because there's only one little difference between gold medal and everybody else. Is that 2 little millimeters that decide who is the winner. And unless you're absolute winner, you have a lot of homework to do. Thank you, Chris and Marissa, for a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful conversation.
Thank you, Andre.
Yeah, thank you. We had a blast.
That's what we do, guys. Bring the right people on the right call so you can solve all your problems. And on behalf of the community, you are Jam. You are incredible. Thank you for demonstrating what means great experience in person, not just talking about it. You guys are the best.
All right.
You too. Thank you, Andre. Appreciate you.
If you are a gym owner looking to become a top-rated gym in your area, visit topratedgym.com and grab our free 30-day reputation boost. That's topratedgym.com. I'll add it to the show notes for you. Don't forget to share this with your friends. Stay strong, stay motivated, and keep pushing your gym to the top. Until next time, this is Andre signing off.